Okay, clerk, could you please take the roll?
Do we need the resolution?
Do we need a roll?
No,
We need a
he's got a motion.
Okay.
We need a motion. Mayor, move to adopt resolution number 2015-R-009, a resolution urging state legislators to restore local fund distributions to municipalities.
Second.
Motion by trustee Engler, seconded by trustee Matanius. We have a motion on the floor and properly seconded. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Matanius.
Aye.
Trustee Mazzarana.
Aye.
Trustee Richmond. Aye. Trustee Sawinski.
Aye.
Trustee Budzen.
Aye.
And Trustee Engler.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, public comments. Do we have any public comments this evening?
Good evening. I'd like to welcome the new village manager. Sorry, I'm not 100% confident in pronouncing your last name, so I'll just say village manager John. But actually, I'm here from a different issue. Good
Could you
evening,
state
board.
your name, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. John Olivieri.
Okay.
Good evening, board. I know I've spoken to some of the trustees in the past regarding new developments. As someone that is trying to attract businesses to the village, I need to ask about the new village process. A few weeks ago, we met with a senior housing project that is looking in the area. We showed them some land near 191st and 104th Avenue. When they called the village, your development director told them no, and that there was 4 senior housing projects that have come before Mokena in the recent past. Only one was approved. He also stated that the trustees hasn't had much change in the past few elections, so they probably won't get approved. Then another person from the same senior housing group called and talked to the village planner, and she encouraged them to bring the project forward. I have been told by some of the trustees that they would like to know about projects that are being proposed or thinking of coming to town when there's a serious person. And the trustees should make that decision. This doesn't appear to be happening. I've talked to a number of the trustees a number of times, and it's still happening, and I need to know the process. So I'm here tonight asking you, what is the process when a development comes in and wants to go to Village Workshop and get some ideas and feedback? I don't know.
What's the process?
Well, we have a 3-step process. The first one is the concept phase, where the presentation is made to the village board. If the proposal has merit, it's then passed on to the Plan Commission for formal public hearings and preliminary plan approvals with the village board, and then a 3rd phase for final approvals. However, in the sense of making the land development process as streamlined as possible, I always take care to let developers know about the likelihood of their projects being approved based on their compatibility with the comprehensive plan and the history of past projects that the board has reviewed. It's not a denial of an application. It's simply giving feedback to applicants.
We've never, ever denied anybody due process. Anybody can come in here, and if they have a project and they pay the money, they put the money down, they want to come before the board, they're more than happy. We're more than happy to do that. We've never denied anybody anything. Now, if somebody maybe misconstrues what is said, or they feel uncomfortable after they're told something, that's their prerogative to walk away. But we have never, ever denied anybody the process.
If they are discouraged, they don't come forward. You know that. I have 2 realtors that have been working on a number of different projects that are so discouraged that they have brought projects to my town and they've been discouraged, so the people just go elsewhere. And they don't want to deal with it. If they can't get some encouragement at the beginning, there's a difference between telling somebody the history of a type of a project in a town. This will never get approved. And I've had discussions with, I want to say 3 or 4 of the trustees that always say they should know about projects coming to town.
John, we have discussed this too, but what's the problem with this is, okay, you're carrying the water for these other developers. Why don't these people come? I will be more than happy to meet with them in my office. I'm retired. I've got plenty of time. I'm here all the time. I never get a call from these people. So in order for me to know what's going on as mayor, I have to meet with these people. Why don't they meet with me?
Because they know that if your staff is not going to work with them, they have an uphill battle.
John, I don't think the staff tells them that they don't want them here. Maybe they may be advising them that what the probability of that project going through. That's it.
Well, that's not what they've told me.
John, you know what we get here all the time? we get people who want to throw these concepts out. It's like throwing dirt on the wall and getting us to buy into it and looking at it and everything else. They don't want to spend the money for proper engineering, put together a proper development proposal, put together all the appropriate things that we see almost on a regular basis. They want to come in here on the cheap. They just want us to stop doing whatever we're doing, look at all of these things, and say, well, okay. I think what Alan is telling you and what I'm telling you is that if a developer wants to come before this board and he wishes to get on the agenda for a concept review committee, I'd be the first one to say, come on up here. But make a proper presentation. Present us with what other developers would. Give us good architectural drawings. Give us good site plans. Give us good things of that nature so we can look at this project. Don't just come in here and say, well, we want to put up 382 houses and whatever, with no concept of where they're going to be, what size are they, nothing. We get that all the time, John. So I think Alan is telling people, look, you want to come before the board, and if you want to spend that kind of money and do those kind of things, we'll be happy to listen to you. But the odds are that based on our codes or based on other things, it's probably not going to fly. We're trying, in essence, to save some of these people thousands of dollars. But if they want to come here, they're welcome. But make a proper presentation.
I respectfully differ because I have to tell you this because the last two projects had done site plans. One of them had done elevations, and you guys don't even know about the projects. So I guess the question to me then, Trustee Mazzarana, is at what point, to me, a workshop in other towns is a workshop. You come in with the site plan and maybe some concept, and I've seen, even in Frankfurt, they come in with pictures of other people's buildings. This is the style we're going to do, but here's our site plan for this site. And they come in and they bounce it off the trustees to get some discussion, and the trustees sometimes say, make it nicer, less dense, more dense is okay. That's the concept of a workshop. To me, to go into engineering before you even have a workshop is really a waste of money.
We have a concept. That's what we do.
I would agree with that statement 100%. And we designed our system so that that's the way it should work, John. And I understand your point of it, too, because I too, sell real estate, so I'm on that end of the fence, and I understand, too. And I don't think it would be staff's, I guess, intention to run people off. I think what they're maybe trying to do is advise them, hey, this is what we've been told wouldn't go. You're more than welcome to come up if you want. My guess is probably 30% of the projects that we see up here never come to fruition.
I'm sure, but it's more.
Even when we approve them all the way. Why didn't Mokena get the water park? Why didn't Mokena get this or get that? Well, they're not ours to get. They're the developers to proceed with.
And to get financing for.
But if they can't make it happen and make it come to fruition, it isn't this board's problem. It's the developer's problem at that point. Now, I would agree it needs to be as simple as possible up front, and that's the way it was initially designed. I would agree with you wholeheartedly. I think maybe it's just maybe they're wrong, maybe the way someone's interpreting it or whatever. But by all means, bring it on.
But John, we have a workshop, our concept. That's what they are. It's a concept. Somebody to come up here and throw a concept on.
Well, that's why I'm asking you, how come these last two projects weren't able to get to the concept?
Did somebody tell them not to come? Did they say do not come to the meeting?
Fill out the applications and come if they want.
Nobody told them that.
John, can I ask a question? When you were told that, no, that, you know, in the past these have been denied, did you follow up and say, well, why have they been denied? Was it wrong zoning in the area? What, I mean,
well, I was
a blanket statement.
aware of two of them, but every project has its. The reason I like your workshop and your concept meetings is you can come and bounce ideas off, and then you get a better understanding of what the elected officials would like there. Problem is, if you don't encourage people to come, you're not going to see a lot of stuff, and you're not going to see what the market is happening right.
John, I understand that, but I don't think anybody in our staff told them we do not want you to come. I think what they're saying is probably, hey, you know what? This may not go bouncing well with the trustees, with the elected officials, but you know, it's up to them. If they want to come, all they got to do is get on the agenda, and we have our concept meetings, you know, every other week. They're here. That's what they're for.
We have
once a month, whatever. Yeah.
And when it was more When it was busier, going back to the mid-2000s or whatever, they were more frequent because we were trying to make it accommodating. So,
And that's what we do. I mean, it's a concept. Present it to us and bounce it off.
and it should be. You're exactly right. You're 100% right. And I think it's just a misunderstanding if it is, and I apologize
Well,
if it is.
this is the second one in the last 6 months that told me they were discouraged from moving any further. So take it for what it's worth. You're the elected officials. Take it for what it's worth. That's what they felt like they were. Perception is everything.
I'm sorry they feel that way, but I don't think Alan or anybody would tell them. Discouraging would be maybe that, this concept that you have may not fly.
I'm here tonight just to discuss it because I saw the mayor at a political fundraiser, and I mentioned it to him, and he said, have him call me. And I call him, and I say, please call the mayor. And they said, I don't want anything to do with that, Tom.
That's their prerogative. I mean, there's nothing we can do about that.
That's what the perception that once in a while I see, and that's very frustrating.
John, one thing I've learned a long time ago, we're not going to make everybody happy.
Well, I understand that.
I can tell you what, after seeing the activity that's going on lately, we're making quite a few people happy. But I wish that people would give me a phone call. That's all I want people to do is give me a phone call and let me know. Thank you for bringing it up to us tonight, John, and I do appreciate it along with the board tonight, but I just want somebody to give me a phone call and let me know what's going on. If they don't tell me, if they don't spend, you spend the time to let me know, I don't know. And I'm not talking about them telling you, John. I'm talking about them coming to me in my office. I want to hear from the different people that are running into this stuff.
But, Mayor, when people look at a site, they either hire a realtor, start looking, drive around, look at land. The first thing they do is, hey, I got this concept. The first thing they don't do is, I got this concept, I'm going to call the mayor first. They don't call the mayor first, unless you're talking about a $20 million project.
No, but that's okay, John.
Talking about a $3 to $10 million.
If they run into a problem, I wish they would take the time to give me a call. But you wouldn't believe, since I've been mayor, how many people have met in my office with ideas, and they've never come
Yeah,
back.
no. And if you guys want to deny it, I don't have a problem with deny it. I just want to have our day in court.
I think it's got, absolutely, and I think it's got to be just a misinterpretation because I think Mr. Zorden represents our village super well, actually. I'm really proud to have him as the person, the face that people meet first when they do come to the village, whether it be residential, whether it be commercial, whatever it is. I think he does represent us very well. If there's been a couple of times, I apologize. I think that, and any time that I've dealt with Alan on a professional level instead of on a board level, I've always thought that they've been more than accommodating in different areas. So, and trying to get the information to my clients or whatever as quickly as possible.
I find it hard to believe that we get all these comments of praising our staff and everything else from Clarendale and every other development that has been going on over the last 6 months to a year, and now all of a sudden there's developers that we don't know about that are making all these presentations or want to make presentations and being discouraged and everything else. I find it hard to believe.
John, the bottom line is this: they go to staff first. Obviously, that's the procedure that we have. If for some reason they're not satisfied with staff on what the guidance is, they had call the mayor, call the trustees, come to the agenda. I mean, I don't think that.
But George, these are smaller projects.
I understand
they don't
that.
call the mayor for a $2 or $3 million.
I would agree with
What I'm saying is, you go to staff. But like you said, our staff is going to guide them in the direction they feel that this board is going to go. This way, they don't waste their time. But if they want to do it, I don't see a problem with them picking up the phone and calling the mayor or calling any of the elected officials up here and say, look.
And I mean, if they have a problem, I don't expect them to call me either if they come in with the project. But if they run into something where they feel that they're, having a problem being heard, they should give me a call. That's my responsibility.
Of us.
You got to understand, the mayor, when people get discouraged, there's a lot of vacant land out there, and there's towns right nearby with vacant land.
Yeah,
so they just say, okay, we're finding them a piece of New Lenox right now. Okay. When they get discouraged, they want the path of least resistance. And if there is, I'm sorry, but if there is one person on your board or your staff that they don't like, they may move.
That's their prerogative, John. There's nothing.
Smaller projects, that's the truth. So by you saying everybody's going to, if somebody doesn't like something, they're going to call you, they're not going to. They're going to find the path of least resistance. And I mean,
But you see, understand, Jen, I don't know. I'm not a mind reader, okay? I don't know unless I hear from people. I don't know what's happening.
well, you asked me to have them call you, and I'm here telling you tonight, they don't want to call you.
And they're not calling.
They don't wanna
Okay,
call.
that's fine.
They said, we'll just look
But
someplace
thank you
else.
for bringing it up, and thank you for at least asking them to
Thank you
call,
for your
and I
time.
appreciate that. Thank you, John.